On today's show, I will get told to shut up by the Pope. Like the Pope. He didn't tell me specifically, but I've been preaching peace, love, and understanding. The coach said the Cubs are losers. We'll play that today. I think I said the Pope. I don't know. It's a CHGO White Sox podcast. CHGO White Sox Podcast, presented to you by nobody. And I knew that. I'm so used to saying Bet365. We'll give a shout out to Bet365. The season's over, but we love them so much. I think we gave them like 2 weeks of free sponsorship. So bye Bet365. They're still presenting the Bulls show, Blackhawks show, and Bears show, but I kind of forgot the White Sox season was over. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Excited to see already Colton, Sam, Goop, Ashley hanging out with us. Some people say the White Sox are dead. I say they've never been more back, mainly because I work in relation to them. So, you know what? It's never been a better time to be a White Sox fan. On today's show, we will talk about two prominent White Sox voices saying or voicing some distaste of the Chicago Cubs. I've been preaching peace, love, and understanding on this. Oh, we're all Chicagoans. And one, I think, is on an evil side. And the other one is on a very funny, somewhat light side. So we'll compare those in some way. And before we get into that, we'll talk about the evil side. We'll talk about the opening day payroll. Dun, dun, dun. Something that is not close. I think was probably, 2 more months now. Then you got about 3 more months until March. So about 5.5 months away. I don't give a lot of things thought that are 5.5 months away in my own life. But I have to look 5.5 months away to what the opening day roster might be. We have some projections from Spot Rack, so we will get into all of that. If you have any thoughts, let us know in the chat. Good to see Ryan as well. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing to CHGO Sports as we get closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. And man, I don't know if about you, Sarah. Also, I'm Sean Anderson. Welcome into Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm being produced today by Sarah.
Hi.
Hi. I don't know about you. I really want a silver play button.
I really do. I've never seen one in the flesh.
And I've been watching YouTube for a long time.
Long time. We just hit 90K though.
I've known about the 100K silver play button. I really want to touch one. I can't wait to see
really
it in our office.
I really want the diamond one.
I know.
What is that?
Is that $1 million?
No, that's like 10 million.
Oh, gold is
$1
million?
million. The diamond is like 10 million.
I don't know if we'll get there. But also, I think there's 12 million people in Chicago, and this is a national crowd. So, hey, fingers crossed we'll get to 10 million one day. Anyways, let's get in. Spot Rack a couple days ago, and this is run by Michael Giannetti, one of the larger, at least payroll sites that covers Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, and it's really just data. It's nothing true, like proprietary or anything. But projections for opening day CBT payrolls based on the current 40-man roster. Right now, the White Sox projected it opening day CBT amount is $59.6 million. And if you have been following the show for a bit, like some of you in the chat have been, you remember when Josh Nelson was on, he said that he thought that the payroll on opening day might be around $85 million. And right now, with the somewhat additions that we made of agreeing to a deal with Mike Talkman at $2.5 million, having 11 of the 13 batters figured out. We also signed Josh Bell. We'll figure that out, but we gave him $7 million. We also gave $5 million to Cody Ponce, or Ponce. I don't know why I made him French. But we have 4 of the 5 starters filled out. We have, I think, 4 of the 9 relievers filled out, and then 11 of the 13 hitters filled out. And we're at 59.5. So we still need to sign people, and we're already at that projection of 59.6. Will we be over or under that $60 million projection? It's not even like I want my teeth to fall out, but I feel like I need to be cursed if I say this. I would be really, really shocked. Really, really shocked if they don't go over that $60 million number. With Robert and Benintendi alone, they'll be at $37 million. If they're able to deal Robert in the offseason, that could possibly change things. I don't think they're signing a single player to a $20 million a year contract or larger. It's only going to be Robert making that type of money, Benintendi making that type of money, because those deals were priorly signed. So the one way I do see them being under $60 million is if they trade Robert. I think they add, and maybe they'll add a little bit more, and it could be an exciting post or offseason if they do add, but I don't think they'll get over like a $12 million number, even if they get rid of Robert. My point, though, is I think Robert and Benintendi are there, and it just seems impossible to not spend at least, $50 million on this team just on the players alone that won't get called up, right? If you get rid of Ponce and if you get rid of Bell, they're at, and if I'll get rid of Paulette too, right? So it's Shane Smith, Davis Martin, Sean Burke, Vassell, Leisure, Taylor, Baldwin, Sosa, Teal, Talkman, Robert, Benintendi, Vargas, Montgomery, Mydroth, Caro. That already takes up $53.7 million. So the only way that they're under $60 million will be if Robert's traded. I don't see him being traded. I think very easily, curse on my house if it's not, I think that the White Sox easily will be over the $60 million budget. I'm planning like that. That's why I'm going out and spending Josh Bell money. That's why I'm going out and spending Cody Ponce money, all right? We got money to spend here. It's burning a hole in our pocket. $85 million, I think, would be a really exciting number. I feel like that's optimistic from Josh. And I don't hate him for being optimistic. Optimistic's great. Ryan says, though, $60 million, that's $100 more million than I expected. It's $85 million is like 10, 15 more million than I expected. Like 72 is what I think. I think the White Sox would be happy if they're under a $75 million, at least opening day budget, because then that allows them to get like 75 or like 78 earmarked, because they don't think they'll be taking on that much additional throughout the year. You take on certain players that get promoted and stuff, but I think they spent, I don't actually want to be real about that number. I think they spent $62 million on this team to start, and then they ended up, I think, around spending $73 million, so they added around $11 million. So maybe not 72 to 78, but 72 to like 80. Gene Watson said 80 mil? I don't think Gene Watson said 80 mil. If Gene Watson said 80 mil, I don't know. I would love to know that number. I thought Josh said 80 mil, but Goop Like Sue says Gene Watson said 80 mil. I don't know if that's confirmed. But I think you could see a pretty decent ball team put out there. And again, by pretty decent, I mean 72 and 90. They're not going to be AL Central contenders if they're spending under $85 million. Obviously, I want them to be AL Central contenders. I easily know that Jerry Reinsdorf could spend $100 million. Again, I would love to see it. Being realistic with the state of where CHSN is, I don't see them making real exciting splashes a la a Pete Alonso, even like a Josh Naylor that's been brought up a couple times in the chat. I'd really like Josh Naylor. I think he brings a fun edge to a team. The fact that he doesn't have any speed and is now like the best stolen base artist in baseball, that's really exciting. And we know how much of a impassioned player he can be in Cleveland, and how much he loved colliding his helmet to his forehead like a pro wrestler. I'll take pro wrestler energy at first base. That sounds fun. But yeah, I don't know. Leonard says the White Sox would have a $25 million payroll if Jerry had all of Rick Hahn's druthers. I think if Jerry had it his way, he'd spend exactly what he spent in 1981. Let's look up the payroll for the White Sox in 1981. Is that even possible? Were they taking Cott's baseball records? They go back to 2000. So at least going back to 2000, he spent $31 million on that team. I mean, you got to look at it in reality. Jerry Reinsdorf spent $75 million on his World Series winning team. Year end was 73.16. You think the opening man day roster was 75, and then the year end was 73, I guess because Frank gets hurt, and that doesn't count towards the payroll. I don't know how he pays less for the opening day roster, but Jerry somehow paid less than he did on opening day, or at least the opening day projected numbers. So there you go. I mean, Jerry Reinsdorf wants to spend like $70 million on a team because he thinks that could win a World Series. It won it for him before. In his 41 years, and this is from Reed Rooney, and Reed Rooney's article over at Bleacher Nation is going to be a pretty decent base of today's show. One of the things that he mentioned, we'll get to later, we have the actual audio from ESPN 1000 that kind of stuck out to me. But one of the things in this article from Reed is under a pitcher, and I don't know if I have said this before. I feel like I've said like these absurd stats that like I'm like, oh, people are going to remember these, and I don't even remember them. But this is from Reed. Jerry Reinsdorf has owned the Chicago White Sox for 44 years now. In those 44 years, he has led the White Sox to a win in playoff series in exactly one season. That is not a misprint. We went 11-1 in 2005 and have never won a single playoff series in any other year of his ownership. The White Sox have not won a playoff series outside of 2005 since 1959. 1959 team went to the World Series. They won the ALCS to get there. That's it. Wait, 1959. Did they win? Was there still an ALCS? Now I just got to double check because I think there was. But was that still back in the day where you just won the pennant? Was there even a division back then? No, they just finished first in the American League. They've won just one. They've won the ALDS against the Boston Red Sox. It won the ALCS against the Anaheim Angels, but now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim or whatever. And then the win against the Houston Astros. So since 1960, those are the 3 playoff series wins. I think Vinny said this. I think this was one of our first shorts we ever cut. Vinny said, I think, this exact stat. And it's, I think, only 10 in the complete franchise history. They've won 10. Oh, no, Jerry needed to go 10 years ago. I think Vinny had that stat, was that they've only won 11 actual playoff series. Something stupid. It's sickening in their 1901, from 2025, their 125-year history. Sickening. So Jerry, I think, is just like, hey, we won on $75 million. $75 million is a lot of money. He's not wrong. But in today's, Major League Baseball, 20 years from that date, you could see the Dodgers. I mean, I brought up the stat on CHGO Cubs earlier today. Players that have put up 4.5 WAR in 4 or more seasons since 2021. There's 8 players to do it. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani are 3 of the 8. It's why they have won so many playoff series, even though they've only won 2 World Series. They have talent and a payroll out the wazoo. I know the White Sox can't be that. But Jerry Reinsdorf makes a ton of money in Chicago. He owns 2 franchises in Chicago. This man is well off. 7% of this nation's wealth is owned, or 61% of this nation's wealth is owned by 7% of people. Right? I mean, now he's building this great addition to the United Center, the 1901 project. He has the ability to start, even though it's not, succeeding, a TV network. This man could spend more money on his baseball team, and it's disrespectful that, he doesn't. We have to take a break. We'll get more into Reed Rooney. We'll get more into Jerry Reinsdorf, and we'll get more into the Pope. We'll get into your comments as well if you have any thoughts. Let me know in the chat. Colton saying, Ishbia cannot come faster. Please, Justin, save us. We'll be back here on the CHGO White Sox Podcast. Football season is here. Make sure you are betting with our friends over at Bet365. New customers, use code CHGO365 when you sign up. When you bet $5, your first bet of $5 with our friends over at Bet365, you get $200 in bonus bets, whether that $5 bet wins or loses. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365, and they're making your NFL season better. On Thursday night, they have a $10 safety net bet. On Sunday Night Football, they have a $365,000 jackpot that's available for bonus bets. And on Monday night, Now that there's 2 Monday night games pretty much every single week, you get a 50% super boost profit token on same game parlays. So double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. Download the app and use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone who has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Mando. Smelling fresh. I smell like Clover Woods, my friends. The people over at Mando have scientifically figured out how to make you stop sweating. Let's be honest, regular deodorant doesn't cut it. After a long day, Mando is the true game changer. Mando plus sweat control. It isn't just a cover-up. It's one stick that does 2 jobs: powerful odor and sweat control. Sometimes it's odor, sometimes it's sweat. You don't get the mix, right? Sometimes you just get kind of paste that smells funny on your arm and it doesn't do anything. That's great. Not the case with Mando. It's one swipe and you're good to go. It controls both sweat and odor for 72 hours. And after just 12 hours, underarm sweat was reduced by 92%. This stuff works to the point where I have bought this and this is now just my deodorant. This is what I use every single day. Shopmando.com. Use code CHGO for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Support our show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. So say goodbye to sweat stains and hello to long-lasting freshness. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox Podcast. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Ashley brings up that $75 million in 2005 is worth $125 million in today's money. She gets down to the cents as well. So thank you, Ashley, for the effectiveness. And then Fat Hipster also asking, how much does Josh Naylor sign for? What we've typically seen in baseball is contracts on the open market, especially for players that do perform well. And Naylor's done well in Cleveland. He's done well in Arizona. He's done well in Seattle. Typically, one WAR equals $8 million or $9 million. I think with the strike looming, I think it'll be closer to that $8 million number. In his past 3 years, 2.7 F4, 2.3 F4, and then 3.1 F4. If you look at B-WAR, it is 3.1, 1.5, 2.3. So a rough estimate around 6.8, around 2.3 per season. So I think he signs a 2-year deal. What's 8 times 2? 16. Plus 2, no, times 2, 32. It's like 2 for 35. 2 for 35, 2 for 38.
I haven't taken a math class since freshman year of college. So it's been a long time.
Really, I graduated college in 2018.
I just want to, behind the curtain, you and I both were just like, what's 8 times 2?
It's probably been about 10 years since I've taken a math class.
Is that not 16? That's 32.
I'm going to really, I'm lost when I get to my 40s. Ryan says, also, it's crazy. Both Chicago teams in a major 3 market don't spend money on their teams. And that's the thing that I'm going to get to in a second, is Jerry Reinsdorf has a hatred for the Cubs that has no real reason outside of, if they don't succeed, he doesn't have to spend. If he doesn't have them winning another World Series and the White Sox and Cubs and him are 1-1, right? He doesn't have to spend. If the Cubs start winning more than them, then maybe he'll have to be like, oh, well, now we'll spend to, at least have a competitive in-team market. But right now, obviously, over the past, 10 years, the White Sox and 7 of them had their 7 worst seasons in franchise history. So I don't know how much he cares right now about the White Sox, to be honest. I think that it seems like his family cares more about the Bulls than the White Sox at this current moment. I would like to be proven wrong, but that is currently my feeling. A Grumpy Pig in Friends says, if the payroll is around 65 to 85 million, then there's no way they pick up the option on the off-injured, underperforming Luis Robert Jr. No way Jerry signs off on that. Okay, Chris Getz said that they will pick up the option, and also 20 million of 85 million is 23%. So if they get rid of that option, there's no way that they're even hitting 85 million. Again, that was my point earlier, is that the only way that they're under that $59 million expected or projection from Spot Rack is if Robert's option isn't picked up, which it will be picked up because they want to trade him. And they can't trade him if he's not signed. So they'll pick up the option. They'll see if anyone wants the $20 million for 2026. And if not, they'll have him play center field. Dominic Fletcher is elected free agency. That was the only other center fielder in the entire organization, pretty much. Will Robertson is now in Pittsburgh. There isn't really a center fielder to take over for Luis Robert Jr. $20 million isn't even that much for a player. That's less than the qualifying offer. So there is a way that they sign off on the oft-injured, underperforming Luis Robert Jr. They have to. If not, they're just letting the only thing that they have of value walking out the door. Because right now, they don't have a pitcher that they really have in a position to trade. Maybe it's Shane Smith. But do you really want to go down that road? We just traded Garrett Crochet. We just traded Dylan Cease. I don't really want to talk again about another pitcher being traded. And you can go back to that Brian Bannister quote where he said, we want to be able to flip these guys. We have to be like Milwaukee and Tampa, where they're getting rid of a Josh Hader or a Devin Williams or Tyler Glasnow, right? Before things hit the fan. Or who else did they trade? Chris Archer, right? Which was a great trade for them. But that's how the White Sox want to offer, or at least operate. Coop Like Soup says, let Teal play center field. He's a baseball god. He can do anything. I'm mostly joking. Let's not get too ahead of our skis. Can you play center field? Ryan's asking. Sarah.
No.
Okay. All right. We'll get off of that. All right. Let's get into more of at least this Reed Rooney piece. Obviously, that stat is jaw-dropping. In 44 years, only the one season where you have playoff series wins makes you sick. What I want to get to now is what apparently Jerry Reinsdorf has said. This is from ESPN 1000's Jesse Rogers. He made an appearance on October 9th of the Waddle and Sylvie show over at ESPN 1000, and it's about 52 seconds of Jesse Rogers explaining who the biggest Brewer fan was in the NLDS.
Are you? I don't want to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Are you able to relay the story that you texted me yesterday?
You got to remind me
about someone in town, a comment to someone on the Brewers. Maybe it was with Tyler.
Yeah,
was it with us? With you, Tyler? Yeah, it's the Tyler, Sylvie, Jesse text chain.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. I heard. Sorry, there's so many text chains going on. I had heard that. I'll just put it this way: that when the Cubs beat the Padres, when the Cubs beat the Padres, nearly immediately, the owner of the White Sox was very, very much a Brewers fan. Became a very interested party in this thing, and was very much became a Brewers fan. That's what I will tell you from my sources.
Why? Just why? Who cares? Honestly, at the end of the day, who cares? If you are a baseball fan in Chicago, if the White Sox are good, the Cubs will want to be good. If the Cubs are good, the White Sox should want to be good. Why would Jerry Reinsdorf want the Cubs to lose at the end of the day? Because he wants less pressure on his ball club. I don't see any other way around it. So Cubs fans don't get joy. What would be positive of them getting joy? Him seeing more Cubs gear? Them selling more gear than them? At the end of the day, that shtick isn't cute when you have... This was not worth the bit. This and only this, right? In the 44 years, there isn't another playoff win. And there could have been in 1994, but who struck out the players? Well, the owners and Jerry Reinsdorf. It's not fair. And it's not cute. The world's biggest Cub hater shouldn't be the White Sox owner. He should be the biggest White Sox fan. I love seeing Justin Ishbia sit behind home plate. Give me that. Him on the back behind home plate, at White Sox games. I love to see an owner doing that. I love seeing a front-facing owner. We talked about Steve Ballmer recently. Obviously, the Kawhi Leonard fake planting tree stuff isn't good. But I like the passion of Steve Ballmer. I like the passion of Steve Cohen from New York. And what do you see when, the Mets miss the playoffs? You see Steve Cohen putting out this letter to Mets fans being we have to be better. We have to be better. And this is a guy when Andrew Benintendi signing the largest contract in White Sox history for 5 years, $75 million. Steve Cohen that offseason signed 5 players to that contract value or more. Kota Sengai had a deal of 5 years, $75 million. That was the fifth lowest contract or fifth highest contract that the Mets gave out that year. That's the highest the White Sox have given out in a single year. It's gross. Like, I want the Cubs to go out there and just kick every team's ass besides the White Sox, because that hopefully would just light the fire under the White Sox owner's ass. And I've been trying to preach this, like, hey, there's no reason to hate each other. It's not like we're in the same division. We're not in the same league. The only time Cubs and White Sox games actually matter would be when they go to the World Series. That hasn't happened since 1906. Sarah, were you alive?
No, I was not.
I wasn't alive. I don't think anyone was alive. Unfortunately, Sister Jean's passed. She was 104 years old. She wasn't even alive for it. That is ancient history.
I would love nothing more than to have two very good baseball teams in this city. I've preached that since day one. I think it would just do so much for the city and with both teams as well. The White Sox would make so much money.
So much money.
So much.
The point that the Cubs guys were making today when I produced their show was the Brewers might have the best baseball operations in all of Major League Baseball, but you could still put more talent on the field with your payroll, and you just do not. Grumpy Pig and Friends saying the Cub envy stuff is so stupid. Jerry is a joke. Worry about the division. Agreed. What is the famous Jerry Reinsdorf quote that we just went over with David Sampson last week? If you finish second in the division, you give your fan base hope. And then David Sampson had to walk that back and say, I didn't say that, because I think he got a very heated call from Jerry Reinsdorf. But, the guy hasn't even prioritized with finishing first in his division, let alone finishing first in the city. He just wants them to trip over on their feet as much as they trip on their feet so that, him and Tom Ricketts can lie on their piles and piles of cash. Woohoo. Don't you love piles and piles of cash? Their new album's coming out, and I'm very, very excited to listen to it. It's annoying that the biggest Cubs hater in Chicago is Jerry Reinsdorf. And, the biggest White Sox hater in Chicago is also Jerry Reinsdorf. It's great. It's awesome. I love Chicago. Anyways, Sarah, are we close to a break? Awesome. Let's take a break, and then let's play something that will make me definitely yell less. I'm sorry. To everyone who asked me to yell less this year, I feel like I deserve that one. We'll play a clip that will make everyone laugh, hopefully, after the break here on the CHGO White Sox Podcast. We've got deals sweeter than candy this Halloween at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. Come in today to shop the No Tricks, Just Treat sales event and drive home with 0% financing, $0 down, and no payments until 2026 with zero hidden fees on select new Chevrolet models. Or you can check out Ray Chevrolet's huge selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you'll be sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And with one of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you'll get a great deal. Plus, with Ray's Price Promise, you could shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. The price you see is the price you pay. It makes sense. So don't miss out on their No Tricks, Just Treat sales event going on all month long for 0% financing, $0 down with no payments until 2026 and zero hidden fees on select new Chevrolet models. So shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They're over on Route 12 in Fox Lake. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. We also want to let you know about our friends over at RC Cola. Look at what I'm drinking, even though it's not zero sugar. Jim Cook gets zero sugar. RC. I love RC so much I'll even drink the full sugar version. It is, first of all, fantastic. Let's be real. World's gone soft. This is not a soft drink. It's just damn good cola. RC Cola is an OG in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow-ups. They haven't changed their stripes since 1905 because they haven't needed to. When you walk into a true Chicago pizzeria, what do you see in the fridge? RC, because it is a true pop. It's the same bold, crisp flavor that it's always been. So do yourself a favor. Grab some RC at your local store. Stock up for all the football games going on, all the bonfires that are happening. RC is the move for whatever you're doing. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox Podcast. And the real thing that, again, I've been trying to preach is, we're all just baseball fans in Chicago. At the end of the day, right now, this country specifically is being divided about us versus them. And it should be a little flipped. It should be us, the working class people, versus billionaires. But no. It's, us versus immigrants. And thank God, ICE is in our city. Woohoo. I really am trying to bring the city together because I don't have that much power, okay? But at least, in the sector that I do have, it's fun to at least, mess with your Cubs friends, right? But at the end of the day, who we should hate is not each other. It should be the people that aren't putting out a product that's suffice enough for this beautiful city. And yet, the person that I thought would be on my side, preaching this message of peace, love, and understanding, would be the Pope. Let's go to Vatican City and let's hear from His Holiness, Pope Leo XIV, Pope Leo XIV. What do you have to say to Go Cubs? What a man. From Dalton, Illinois, Pope Leo XIV. Not only saying Han perdido, which is they lost in Latin, he even gives him a little bit of a chirp clap as well. Can we just play that a little bit and go back? Just watch when he claps back. He looks at that guy and is like, yeah, buddy, they lost. Sorry, I forgot how short that clip was. I started to reread Tud's comment. I love the energy. It feels like something that I would see on the South Side, driving down Kedzie. Maybe you got an all-black Dodge Camaro that's got a White Sox license plate on it, and you see some Cubs fans walking in a jersey or whatever, going to some bar, maybe down Western. That's probably a better idea, right? They're going into that Cork and Carry. Why would Cubs fans be going into Cork and Carry? Right? I swear I grew up on the South Side. I just didn't go to any bars. But you got Cubs fans going to Cork and Carry, and the guy in the souped-up Sox car is like, hey, they lost, they lost, and then hits a car, and that's a bumper, a fender bender on Western. It's mostly just White Sox fans chirping Cubs fans if they see them. I love the energy because, hey, maybe this is what isn't serious in the world is sports, and everything else Pope Leo addresses is serious. But hey, no. Cubs fans, he'll chirp you, and maybe I should start chirping Cubs fans like His Holiness wants. Let's go to Tud. Last season's payroll is $78 million, so I could see them in the $78 to $80 million realistically. A couple of one-year deals are off the book, and a couple of pre-arb deals. I was wrong. The final CB tax for 40-man was $90 million. And then the opening day 26-man was $74 million. And the year-end 40-man was $78 million. So you're right, Tud. And my bad. I think I was saying 60. So that is my bad. And that's just in reference to last year. The payroll projection from Spot Rack is $59 million. But they did spend $78 million on last year's team, which is surprising. I guess Vaughn was the $6 million that they got off. But I really am surprised that number is even that high. I mean, Martin Perez made $3 million. But yeah, that is surprising that they even, with that, poor of a team, spent that much. Yeah, Benny was 17, Luis 15, Vaughn 5.8, Perez 3.5, Rojas 3.5, a couple of 1.9ers. I'm surprised that even gets him to 74. But yeah, I mean, that's really just baseball for you. I mean, again, we have now 10 of the 13 hitters filled out, 3 of the 9 bullpen, and then 3 of the 5 starters, and we're at $53 million. So my bad. Thank you for the correction, Todd. Yeah, I really do see them being over $60 million, and the prediction then from Josh seeing $85 million probably makes more sense. So yeah, I will make sure that I'm right on my numbers there. But I find it hilarious that Han Perdido, they lost. The biggest Cub chirper is the Pope. Do you like that, Sarah, as a Cub fan?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's fun. I mean, who would have thought we would be living in a time where the Pope is even associated with Chicago in any way, let alone being a baseball fan? So I think it's fun. I'm with Ryan in the comments, like as a Cubs fan, like it's fun. It's funny to see.
Isaac in the chat, Isaac on Twitter said, if the Sox or Bears were to win a championship while he was the Pope, would they go to the Vatican?
Honestly, it would be
right?
like, because why would you go to the White House?
Especially the Sox, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not even take out the White House and stuff specifically. Like that's what is typical. Maybe they do that, but this is the first American.
Is
first American
way
Pope.
Fancier.
The first person, the first person to the first American Pope to.
What would be crazy is if we get a playoff, like if we get a World Series, if we get a Super Bowl, any of that, while the Pope is the Pope, like that, that would have never happened unless the Pope was from Chicago. Is like that's what everyone would associate it with. Is the Pope is the reason why any Chicago team is even won something. In a very long time.
That would be quite absurd. But hey, maybe if they just go on like an absurd Boston run of the early 2000s.
Bears still have a chance.
They do. They do.
The season is not over.
No, it's not over. Hey, but I also said yesterday that they're going to win 9 games, and you called me crazy. So what is it, Sarah?
I don't preach my Bears beliefs on the interwebs.
All right. Let's go to some proof, though, because I was wondering, like Isaac was, would there be an official Vatican visit? Have sports teams from America gone and visit? There is the Series A team that went and visited the Vatican, but there's this somewhat unofficial team visit from the Arizona women's basketball team from 2017. I don't know if they met the Pope or were just near Rome and we're like, hey, let's go see the Vatican. So I guess we'll list the Arizona Razorbacks women's basketball team from around 2017 as taking a visit to the Vatican. But then this one seems a little bit more official. It's Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan football team handing over a Michigan helmet with the American flag and the Italian flag on the back. Jim,
like
the
this
Vatican's
one's
their own city.
This one's crazy.
They have their own flag. That is crazy. I think it's the first Pope to ever have a football helmet.
I'm telling you, if the Bears win the Super Bowl while Pope Leo is the Pope, I mean, they have to go. Can you imagine Caleb Williams like hugging the Pope?
It'd be pretty absurd. It'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, that's Jim Harbaugh passing the Michigan football helmet to Pope Francis. Just very, very odd and bizarre timeline. That
do you think Jerry and the Pope should meet?
Maybe Cherry would be a little bit more kinder. But yeah, I think
they're two kind of like older dudes.
Whatever. They are two kind of older dudes. One's from Chicago, one's not. Thankfully, the one not from Chicago owns the baseball team. I hope the White Sox do whatever they can in their power to get some video from the Pope for opening day, right? If there's some way that he makes an official U.S. visit at some time, I think likely at some time in his papacy, like there has to be a White Sox game put into this, right? I would be sorely missed or sorely like thorned if he doesn't go to a White Sox game in like the Pope mobile.
The Pope will be back in Chicago to watch a sports game. That is happening. But the real question is, do you think the White Sox could play a game kind of like the Field of Dreams vibe, but like do it in the Coliseum? Like, do you think they could renovate it to then they play in the Coliseum?
It's very bold thinking. I don't hate it.
Like to really just milk this White Sox Pope thing. They have to play like how the Bears went to London. The Sox could go to Rome.
I like the idea. They'd probably play it in a football stadium, right?
I don't think they have a baseball field in Rome. I don't think that's a thing.
There's an Italian team.
Is there?
Yeah, there's an Italian team.
Okay. I've been to Rome once and I didn't see a single baseball field.
There's probably a lot more soccer stadiums. So they probably just like outfit a soccer stadium for it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how close the Vatican City is to Rome. I know it's it's very real close,
it's
but
walking,
like
it's walking distance.
All right, so like yeah,
it is all in this. It's literally all in the same area.
Let's do Vatican City to the Coliseum and let's have baseball there. Who would they play then? Yankees?
That's the question.
I mean, the Yankees for Field of Dreams. It's kind of ghost, but it's not. It's not like
we could do
corn
a
ghost.
crosstown. We could do the Chicago teams, a Cubs Sox game there, just to keep like the Chicago bones in it.
That'd be so stupid.
That'd be like
it would be
imagine the merch they'd make.
Imagine the merch.
It'd be so
imagine
good.
the merch tents.
The merch tents in Rome.
Ashley thinks that we solved the outfield problem. I'm now just picturing like hungry lions just playing the outfield. You know, we solved the outfield problem. Andrew Benintendi's been eaten
like
by a lion.
There'd be like bad juju though, because there's just too much history in the Coliseum.
Way too much history.
Yeah.
Way too much history.
Not like the best history.
Dead people. Yeah. Oh God, no, not a good history for the Coliseum. Very notable, but like infamous, maybe. So yeah, I wouldn't rule out a Vatican City visit. The White Sox just have to win a playoff series, and which, as we've stated, as Reed Rooney put out in his Bleacher Nation report today, or not report, but article. Again, Jerry Reinsdorf has 44 years, has 3 playoff series wins, and they all came in 2005. You think the Pope was like, it was 20 years ago when he was the Pope. Like, obviously, he was there for the game 2 or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if I see it. Angels in the Outfield, the sequel. It's Cubs versus White Sox in the Roman Coliseum, and all the ghosts and ghouls that haunt the Coliseum. All right, I think I just broke this also. So the upper deck lighting from U.S. Cellular Field from the 2005 trophy just popped off. All right, there is no White Sox news. There is nothing going on with the pitching coach. There's nothing going on with the hitting coach. I had this thought today that, you know, managers are going to fill out before we even get real news and movement on pitching coach and hitting coaches. So the Orioles have an opening, and now they're apparently, according to Alden Gonzalez and Jeff Passan, interested in Albert Pujols as their manager. Woohoo! The Angels are interested in Albert Pujols as their manager, so they have to figure that out. San Diego's opened as well. It's possible that Bruce Bochy could go there after leaving Texas. Texas has filled their spot with Skip Schumacher, but I do think that most of the managerial positions have to be settled and before like real movement gets made. Kai Correa was hired by the Mets, but that seemed kind of like destiny in a way. The Mets really can afford whoever they want, so if they wanted Kai Correa, they probably can pay him more than a manager position could, if like we're just being honest. So I think, you know, really the Mets get what the Mets want. I'd love to be that team, but we can't even get that with players, let alone coaches. And I don't even know if I like wanted Kai Correa. I wasn't really making a movement or a speaking platform to get Kai Correa. But it doesn't seem like the White Sox will be instant movers on the hitting, pitching coach, etc. coaches market really until the playoffs get settled. Dodgers took a 2-0 lead against the Brewers. I think that series should get wrapped up quickly. Mariners are playing a different team. Can't even think of the matchup right now. Blue Jays?
Blue Jays,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that series is. I really have not been watching the ALCS. I'm mostly watching college football.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I hate the Brewers.
Yeah, Seattle leads 2-0. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, I would love to see Seattle win.
They beat the Mariners, or not the Mariners.
Blue Jays,
the Blue Jays 10-3.
Yeah.
That was a big game.
Julio hit, a 3-run homer off Yay Savage, and then I stopped paying attention. But I'm really excited, at least for Seattle. That'd be really fun postseason if it's Dodgers versus Mariners. So fingers crossed. And Josh Naylor likely gets $15 million if he's a World Series player rather than $10 million once he hits free agency. We're going to wrap up the show. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We have a show tomorrow at 5:30. I am looking to book a guest, so we'll see if I have a guest. I have nothing to promote yet. Thank you for watching the CHGO White Sox podcast. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you tomorrow at 5:30.
We all silly like the mayor.